I hear you. I want to talk to you before we finish about Israel and the war with Hamas. You know, I've said repeatedly in the last few months, it's a very difficult situation in the sense that Israel was subjected to an utterly horrific terror attack and obviously had to respond. You have a population where half of the population is children. Hamas clearly live amongst that civilian population. And if you want to get rid of Hamas, who have gone on the record since October the 7th saying they want to repeat it again and again and again, so everyone would understand that, how do you get rid of them without doing what Israel is doing? And yet by doing what they're doing, they're encountering more and more public rage around the world. Where's the moral position here for you on this?
Well, the problem is that Israel has the most extremist religious nationalist government in its history. So they have no intention of living side by side with the Palestinians under any circumstances. If you look at what this government actually represents, it's not hidden from view. It's directly stated almost every day. Greater Israel, which means from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean, they want to rule over all of the territory. So there's no end game here politically other than complete domination or ethnic cleansing or slaughter or whatever. And with a government like that in Israel, there's nothing but war ahead. So this is the terrible problem. And I happen to know this situation also very well because it's now 52 years since I started going to Israel. We've never seen anything like this government. This is the most right-wing, extremist, zealous, messianic, rule over all of Palestine group that is imaginable.
See, I agree.
And that's why we're in a...
I actually agree with you about that.
Yeah.
But I always come back to how would any Israeli government be expected to respond to what happened on October the 7th? It was so outrageous, so overwhelming. They couldn't do nothing. So what do they do?
Yeah, well, I have a particular approach, which is that there's no way that the Palestinians and the Israelis are ever going to reach peace. So I think that the world community through the UN should impose it. That is two states, which the whole world, other than those two countries, agree on, even the United States, Britain, everybody agrees on that. Impose the two states, put in peacekeepers, get a normalization of relations between Israel and the Arab countries based on a demilitarization of Hamas as well. And by the way, I speak to Arab leaders and diplomats all the time. They're ready for this. So this is, again, an area where diplomacy is right. The idea is don't think about this as Netanyahu versus Hamas. This is not the point. This is about Israel, the state of Palestine, Saudi Arabia, Egypt. These are big players. This is a case, by the way, where there's no difference between what the U.S., Britain, France, China, and Russia want also. Two states, according to international law, mutual security for the two. But don't expect that to come from Smotrich, Ben-Gvir, Netanyahu, Gallant, and Hamas. Impossible. Ridiculous.
Professor Sachs, on that,
I
completely and utterly agree with you on that. You may be startled to hear. Just want to end by
I'm not startled at all.
I've enjoyed our conversation. I just want to end with America because you've been very critical of your own country. Tell me some good things about your country.
We're